I just spammed LinkedIn. That's my hook for this episode. But basically, I just sent a bunch of invites to a bunch of different people on LinkedIn, particularly in the AI research space. To go even farther, particularly in the Google DeepMind space. And to give some context, um, I've been wanting to become more mature for a while now. I think that's like I've explained the concept in like the past couple of episodes. But with that goal of wanting to become more mature, I was looking for a coach that kind of fell through. But I'm looking for a mentor as well now. Even though I've been wanting to have that for a while now, because I do recognize the limitation of my knowledge and scope. And I think having a mentor who's experienced in this field, the fields or the path I'm trying to walk on, would be really helpful to like give me advice. Like maybe I should pursue this, or maybe this project could. I should talk to this person. I think that's another thing a mentor is really good for, is that expansive network, because they've gone through the mud, right? So you've met a bunch of people who've also gone through that mud, who also have like various fields of expertise, and they can relay me to those people to like learn more or work on different things. I think that's going to be something really cool and something I'm really excited for, but I just don't have a mentor. Even family wise, a lot of the people, there's a couple people in the cybersecurity space. If I ever transition there, I now have some family there who I can work with. But in the AI research space, I don't really know anyone. I'm kind of like a lone wolf family wise in this path. So I've been looking. I talked to my brother who had a mentor. I think he still does. He just said like find a couple people on LinkedIn that you really want to imitate, or you like where they are, the work they're doing, and just like send genuine messages. So I started doing that, and I got confused. I didn't even get confused. I kind of just changed. Like I transitioned into saying like, okay, let me see like my actual network of people, and I found that I barely had anyone in my network who was working at Google, especially Google DeepMind, like their AI research branch, which is really awesome. They post like all their publications on their website, and if you go like every week, I think they have some like something new. It's formatted weird though, because sometimes they have something that's like it's a couple months ahead, or like the formatting is wrong. But that aside, it's a really cool place to look at research papers. So what I decided to just spam, like I just looked at, I went to their website and looked at all the research papers they have from like June to January. I looked at all the authors and all the people cited, and I started like connecting with them on LinkedIn. So I just did that for like the past hour or two, obviously taking some breaks here and there, and then I'm still I've gone like one or two. I've gotten one or two accepts back, so that's really cool. But besides the Google DeepMind thing, which I'll come back to in a second, I also sent some coffee chats because I'm also trying to like move into the I want to kind of build a brand. Like after this project is over, I kind of want to move more into the AI research space, and like sharing knowledge with people and kind of bringing more people into the research field. Okay, I feel like a lot of people don't really see research as what it is, and it's a really exciting field. I think a lot of people would enjoy it. So I want to kind of share my fun and excitement with research and just like share knowledge. As well, build a brand of curiosity and knowledge and just exploration with AI. I still haven't picked out the field, so I'm just gonna say AI. I know that's very broad, but for now, just work with me here. But yeah, back to the DeepMind thing. One thing I did like, even though I will acknowledge like phase four, to be blunt, I will acknowledge that that probably wasn't the best use of my time. I could probably have built a project or read like a couple of research papers that would have gotten me to a closer level of like maybe even working at Google DeepMind, or even like just like did an amateur project and then phrased it really well on my resume. But then I really didn't want to do that. I was kind of tired. I just want to click some buttons. So I decided to do the thing with connecting with a bunch of Google DeepMind employees or some people who work there just as an assistant or a visiting research fellow. I think that's the term. But what I will say that I do think was a rewarding experience, because I didn't just like connect with people. Also, it's like the abstracts or the research titles, and like some of these are stuff like really interesting stuff. Like one that I want to read later today, not related today. It's getting late. One I want to read tomorrow is this one about Pauli autoregressive prediction for interacting models. It's basically like I don't even know how to explain it. It's basically like agents and like seeing how they interact with different constraints. It's meant to be for like I assume it's meant to be for the whole Waymo thing, the AI cars, the self-driving cars, but it's meant to like see how AI agents can interact in different constraints, like physical environments. and kind of like predicting how the other AI agents would react, like by taking like their states as tokens and stuff like that, like their previous interactions. So I think it's really cool. I'm excited to like look more into it. But it was really just interesting, like seeing like the different research papers and the different research being done. But I think another aspect was kind of seeing the diversity, which is a really interesting thing. I won't get into, but I don't want to touch on it too much. I like I might say the wrong thing. But it's really interesting seeing like the diversity of the people who worked at Google DeepMind, whether it was as a visiting fellow or as a or as an actual Google DeepMind employee. And what I mean by the diversity, I don't mean just like the racial diversity, but like kind of like the academic background diversity. Where I noticed like a lot of, funny enough, there were barely any Ivies that I saw, at least US Ivies that I saw. CME popped up a couple times. There was this one, this European school. It wasn't like Oxford or anything. It was like a really hard one to pronounce. Like popped up a couple times. Well, still Chicago. Oh, gosh, Chicago. I don't even know the name of the school, but it's like a really good CS school. I don't know why I don't know the name, but they popped up a lot. But that was surprising to me. I thought like when it came to like AI research, would be like the top schools in the US or wherever, but it actually wasn't. There was also this really good school in India that a lot of the people came from. A lot of the people also had like masters. That's where actually I think PhDs were good, like 40%, but I think a lot of people, like almost everyone, kind of had a master's of some sort. And I think that's something that encourages me more to do a master's, especially seeing how some people are able to get it done like 1 or 2 years, and just like being able to learn more, being able to learn so much more in those like in that time span. I think it would be really helpful, especially looking at like the background of some of these researchers. So that was really awesome. In terms of racial background, it was actually pretty diverse as well. I think it was from I was really just Asian, white, a lot of European white, to be honest. Like that was like a big surprising aspect to me. Is like a lot of Europeans. I think a lot of Swedish people. I think, or maybe Denmark. I actually don't know. Like the name I know is like either Swedish or Denmark, but and there was also some French. I remember there was some dude. I think I wasted my last didn't waste it, but like I used my last on LinkedIn. You can send messages with your invites, but you don't have like 5. You're not paying for the premium. I'm not gonna pay for the premium again. So I used my last message connect thing to say bonjour and exclamation marks. So I don't know if he's gonna respond, but that was fun. But it was really interesting. I do think something that I do think was interesting. There was a couple of people of African American descent in the research space, but there wasn't a lot. I wasn't surprised, to be honest. But I do think it's something interesting of why that's the case. My current theory is it's like a socioeconomic thing of like to get into research. It's like research is not a field. To be in research, you kind of have to leave the industry for a while, and that doesn't pay as well. So like if you come from a less fortunate socioeconomic background, and you can like you need to like enter the industry much faster, you have like a much shorter time frame to make money and return on your investments, then that's probably why you wouldn't go into research. There's also a lot of, I don't even think to a lot of kids, especially of the African American descent, just like maybe like African descent, I even think research is a big thing. Like so to kids in general, just like people in general, research is a bigger thing. Then like zoom in even farther and you apply like the percentage, the demographic makeup. So that if you like, if let's say like black people like 20% or so, then like apply that to like the people even interested in research. So that like goes down even farther, in terms of like numbers or quantities. So I think that's something interesting, and that's obviously a place I could pivot to with the branding. I don't know as of yet, but I do think that's something interesting. I would really love to see more people in that research field. I do think it's something that I think everyone should be in research. I already talked about this, but it's something interesting. But I think it was a fun time. It was really fun just to see different people. I know there was this one time I searched up one dude's name and like it popped up like with 3 different people the same name, and they all work at like fan companies. Like you had like Amazon, you had like Apple, you had like Google. It was the funniest thing ever. But yeah, I think it was a fun time. I did learn a lot. I do want to look more into research papers. I do think this is something I want to check out more. I want to make, I know I'm really on and off with this with checking Google DeepMind, but I think they post a lot of really cool research papers. Some that I'm not even like interested in that field per se, which like it isn't interesting. I think that's why like in terms of AI companies, it doesn't really make sense to have a favorite, but like just being nonsensical, I prefer Google the most because it's just like the most exciting one to me in general. And it's like a really cool company. I also saw they had this, I think their embedding model right now is the best one, or maybe it's IBM. I don't remember, maybe IBM. is the best open source one. But I know IBM posted something recently about that. I don't know if it was Diffusion or something else. Maybe it was like a smaller open source lower parameter model. But I know Google has one of like the best embedded models, and the project I'm working on, the RAG project I'm working on, I really want to try that out. I was using Hugging Face. I was using this Hugging Face embedding model, but I want to try switching over to the Google one just to try how to see how it improves it. With the Vero RAG bot, since it was only one document, I don't imagine it would make like a big marginal difference. But I feel like for this, the project I'm working on, there is some use cases where it's a lot of stuff you're retrieving. So I wonder like how that'll play out. So I got like one of the task with the project is to kind of evaluate different embedding models. So that's gonna be a really fun time. But yeah, besides that, I had a great time. Looked at a bunch of people from DeepMind, did some coffee chats. Hopefully, the acceptances or responses start rolling back later this week. I would really be excited for the coffee chats, especially because I think that's something I want to do more. Not even like in terms of the mentorship, I just want to connect with more people in the field. And it's kind of like network has this negative connotation depending on who you talk to, but I think just making friends. It doesn't sound professional, but I want to make more friends in like this whole research, computer science field, because it's exciting. It's like you build stuff, you learn stuff. It's like the most fun thing ever. I always love like sending like if I find a cool link or something, I always love sending it to like my friends who are in those fields. So I have a lot of friends in the med field, the medical field. So if I see like some medical AI thing, I'll send it to them. It's like the most fun thing because this feels like I don't even know. I don't know if there's a game I can relate this to or an analogy I can use, but it just feels like so much growth. Interconnected growth is the best idea I can use to visualize it. But I just think it's so cool. And it's really awesome. So like basically like you get items in the game and you're able to share those because you know those items are going to suit you best. You're able to share with like your friends and it's going to suit them best, and like those friends do the same thing for you and just keeps on boosting you guys up. But yeah. Also, last thing before I end this thing, hopefully I have enough storage to even make this video. But last thing, I think it should be mandated by the US to have a LinkedIn. There's a lot of people who did not have LinkedIn's, like 10, 20%. And then it made me realize that LinkedIn isn't the end all be all when it comes to careers. Because a lot of people have good careers or have great careers without having like a LinkedIn. Some people just have like the default picture or have like the most plain thing. I remember the one dude just like Google AI research and that was his whole thing. I think that was pretty cool just because like you know what it is. But yeah, I think that's something I in like pursuing that 500 connections and all that. I'm just like building my LinkedIn brand. I think I did zoom in a lot about LinkedIn, like being this like place where I can like boost my career a lot. And I think that's true. But also have to realize that that's not the end of beyond. There's a lot of other avenues that I can look into and pursue. A lot of it's like in personal relationships with a lot of it's and like, or if you actually work under this research person, they connect you with like a lot of people. I remember I was reading this Reddit forum the other day and like they were hyping up this one dude and it was actually crazy because I assume these like were international people, like people from all over the world and people like all over the US, and just hyped up this dude and said, hey, if you work with this dude, you're set for life and everything. I was like, dang, that dude must be feeling really good right now. But I think there's a lot of ways to pursue. I don't want to get lost in just one brand, even with this social media branding stuff and research branding, I guess I'm looking to do after Project Phillips. I do want to realize that there's no one correct avenue to pursue, and how you should really just be looking. I should obviously focus, but I should also understand that there's other ways to do stuff. But besides that, I have nothing else to say. So have a great day.